he gets into the 95 of Bolts. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away go for the first time. Nicholas Porcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got 3 wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson, 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, just insane.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons. Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the very first round of the Team Goon Squad Cup Series. We are here today at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. My name is Mason Heimball with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action here tonight. 1080p, 60 frames a second. After a few technical woes, we are ready to go, but we are going to get right into our starting grid. As again, I had a little bit of trouble getting things started, but Ashley Lyle, Aaron Smith going to be at the front of the pack. Scott Shire, Tyler Duggan going to be in the second row. Nicolator, Carlos Thiel going to be in that third row, Jaden Hopp, Sean Williams taking up the fourth row. Howie Briss and Lamp in that fifth row. Nicholas Lovell, Jared Ziegler down in the sixth row. Moving on down the grid, we have Max Newworth, Matthew Fitz in 7th row. We're moving a little bit faster. Paul Mikolajczyk, Charles Jurek in the 8th row. Nick Beaver, Michael Keithley in the 9th row. Marshall Newton, Stephen Shepard in the 10th row. Jeffrey Sykes, Andrew Neri in the 11th row. Dylan Meyer, Gareth McAllister in the 12th row. Jeremy Barber, Ryan Perkins in the 13th row. Nicholas Corcel and Michael Ashmore rounding out the field here today, folks. It is a stacked field here today at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the very first round of the Team Goon Squad Cup Series. And I gotta say, this is just absolutely incredible to see all of these cars here all in one place, and a lot of drivers coming from different series to be a part of this series here on Monday nights. And it is just absolutely great to have a stacked field, 28 drivers in total. And folks, it is going to be an exciting day of racing here today at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as this safety car makes its way back down into pit road. The drivers await for the green flag to drop here for the first time, and away they go across the checkered line. It's Aaron Smith, Ashley Lyle going to take it side by side as they head off into turn 1. Tyler Duggan, the number 42, he's got a little bit of room between himself and the leader at this point as they come out of turn 2 and onto the back straightaway. Multiple side-by-side drivers here at this point. Everyone trying to get themselves settled in as they get ready for 120 laps here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Given that drivers have, for this series, this is a fixed setup series, and courtesy of Ashley Lyle, the number 51 driver who has created the setups for today's race, it's creating some excellent racing already out the rip. We have a tight pack with Scott Shire. It looks like Scott Shire kind of in the lead. You can almost say Tyler Duggan leading this pack of drivers as they come back into turns 3 and 4 and onto the tri-oval. Ashley starting to build up a little bit of distance between herself and the rest of the field here, but she's still going to have Aaron Smith on her side here as well as they continue this fight. Going into the first opening laps of today's race, and you can see Aaron Smith just kind of settling in there and building up a little bit of distance between himself and Ashley Lyle here at this moment. Scott Shire, meanwhile, just behind Aaron Smith, starting to close the gap as they come into 3 and 4, back out onto the tri-oval. Starting to see that separation come into play here as we ride on board. Carlos Thiel, the 256 driver, currently in 6th place at the moment. As we are on lap 4 of 120 here today, clicking things off very smooth, very fast, as we expect to be seen here. We also see Jaden Hopp, the number 81 machine, also starting to make a good run on the outside here. As drivers, again, starting to get themselves settled into their lines. You can see that single file starting to become more prominent here as they come across the line, bringing us lap 5 Again, everyone staying very calm, very steady, and I'm very surprised with how calm things are at this moment, as I didn't get an opportunity to show everyone at home before we got things started here, but I did have, as I realized that you folks can probably hear the cars a little bit more than you can hear my voice. Maybe not, maybe so. We'll fix that just a little bit here, but either way, as I was saying, we had a media day race, which I was going to have the intro for the start of today's race, but unfortunately, with my technical woes, I was not able to get that figured out, but we'll get that worked out in the future. Either way, it's starting to get spicy here in 3 and 4. We've kind of been tuned into this midfield. We've got Howie Briss here in the number 97, Tyler Duggan down on the inside as they come across the line. These two drivers going to be duking it out, and Howie Briss coming over from the now no longer a league, Velocity Racing League, which formerly was on Monday nights, and which warranted myself starting this series in the first place. It allowed these drivers to all find a new home to continue their racing, and to allow even some new fresh faces that may not have raced with one another to come out here and really give things the beans. And speaking of giving things the beans here, Nicolator, a driver who, for those of you that might have tuned in to our coverage of the J2Y, the Just Two Idiots Cup Series, Nicolator, Lamp as well, sitting in 11th place at the moment. These two drivers with J2Y coming over from their road course backgrounds over here to the oval side of iRacing, and Nicolator looking quite phenomenal as he gets a run on Ashley Lyle here, a battle for the lead as they head back into turns 1 and 2. Ashley Lyle really trying to put it up to the top, going into turn 1, trying to give herself as much room. And onto the back straightaway, Ashley continues the lead. Nicolator staying right on the tail of that Morton Salt 51 machine. The action continues to brew for the lead, but as they come out of 4 and onto the tri-oval, the Doritos number 5 machine gets a little bit further back, just over 0.2 of a second separating these drivers now. And while that doesn't seem like a whole lot of time, it really, in the grand scheme of things, isn't. But that can easily start to grow if you are not careful and if you're not hitting your lines correctly here. And let's actually go towards the back of the field here where things are looking dicey. What in the world is going on back here? Andrew Neri, Charles Jurek, Jeffrey Sykes, Michael Keithley, Max Neuwirth, Matthew Fitz. Oh man, it is a just conglomerate of interesting situations developing here. And speaking of, we got Lamp, the number 6 driver, coming down here into pit road as well. Uncertain what the reason is there for Lamp. Might be an issue with the setup, might be an issue with his racing wheel. I'm not entirely certain, but Lamp coming down into pit road. He's pitting right now, and we'll see if he's going to come back out here before too long. Maybe just working out some damage that might have been done. We can actually take a peek over here. Oh, definitely suffered some damage to the number 6 machine, so I think the pit crew is going to work that out as best as they can and get that number 6 machine back out there as quickly as they possibly can. Meanwhile, back here towards the midfield, Michael Keithley in 14th, under fire with Steven Shepard, or excuse me, Nicholas Lovell. Number 37, Net Zero machine just on the outside. Max Neuwirth, the 66 driver, meanwhile, starting to get into the draft behind the Shrek machine. Trying to close that distance here, and Max Neuwirth looking very, very good back here in these very tight battles. And speaking of, we've almost got a 3-wide battle happening between Jeffrey Sykes, Matthew Fitz, and I believe that's Charles Jurek. Yes, it is. And the nice thing is about starting a brand new series and having a lot of drivers come to the series that I'm already familiar with is that I already know everyone's names. It's great. I love it. But even if I say that, there are some drivers that I have not seen before. Tyler Duggan, one of those drivers, the number 42 machine, looking very good out here. So far, holding on to 9th place at this moment. Sean Williams, the number 89, is just on the outside in that Taylor Swift 89, but is definitely pushing it, trying to get a good run in this outside groove, and it seems to be working in Sean's favor to keep that momentum coming, especially here, coming out of turn 2. There it is, right onto the back straightaway. He's able to just launch on the throttle, and it's a clean, easy pass here for Sean Williams. And I say easy for Sean Williams. It's definitely not easy for everybody else here. Nick Beaver, another driver from the J2I series that we cover on Wednesday nights, which we will be back for in, I'm actually not 100% certain when that starts up again, but that's neither here nor there. It is just fantastic to have some of the J2I folks out here racing along with us, along with various other drivers who have come from different series and even from our own in-house series as well, our endurance series, to be a part of this. It is just all around a great field that we have here today. Nicholas Lovell, the number 37 driver, down here in the pits as well. Doesn't seem to be too much damage to that 37 machine. It might be something that we can't see from that camera angle, but either way, either how, we've only got 2 drivers down in pit road. There goes Nicholas Lovell. He's coming right back out at this moment. Now, from another note about the series as well, about these races, is that there's only 50% fuel. So, from what I understand and what I think could be correct here, is that drivers will be coming down for fuel at around 22 laps. Now, I made the knucklehead move of not giving drivers enough tires for tonight's race, but they will make do, as they reassured me that they will be just fine. But so they only have 2 sets of tires behind the wall for this 120-lap race, but it will definitely make things a very strategic race, if all things considered. Ashley Lyle, still your race leader. Aaron Smith in 2nd place, and Howie Briss, the number 97 machine, the reigning VRL champion, or I guess the last VRL champion, here at the moment, doing a phenomenal job and looking quite comfortable here in 3rd and starting to build up a little bit of distance between himself and Nicolator and Jaden Hopp. Speaking of Jaden Hopp, the number 81 machine, right there, right in the mix of things, getting himself down and dirty in this battle, going further up the pack into the top 5 here. So we're going to see how this run kind of progresses here for Jaden Hopp and realistically for the rest of this field, as I'm curious how they're going to handle this sort of, well, I say unique. I didn't intend to make it this way, but a unique pit strategy that we're going to have to see here. Whoa, and here it is, already seeing drivers come down into pit road a little earlier than what I was expecting here, but there it is. That's going to start off our first round of pit stops, and Ashley Lyle, Jaden Hopp, Carlos Steele, Nick Beaver, Charles Jurek, Andrew Neri, Paul Mikolajczyk, Matthew Fitz, Michael Ashmore, Dylan Meyer are all going to be the first drivers to come down into pit road. Lap 20 here for these drivers. Aaron Smith now going to take the lead here for the time being, but I suspect he's going to come down. There it is, right on cue. Aaron Smith comes down, Howie Brisk right along with him, and it looks like the rest of the field is going to do the same thing. So again, I didn't intend to make things this sort of difficult as far as race strategy is concerned, with tires kind of being a little bit of an iffy spot here in tonight's race. But again, as I was talking to the drivers before the start of the race here today, just ensuring that they would be all right with that. And I quote, they said it would be interesting racing. So it's so far been just that, and I'm certainly excited to see how this is going to develop going further as we enter lap 22 of 120. And Aaron Smith now going to find himself with Ashley Lyle right on his tail, going into 3 and 4, and it looks like Aaron Smith actually just managed to get out of pit road before Ashley Lyle caught up to him here. So this is perfect timing here for Aaron Smith to now really put the pressure on the 51, and see if he can try and make that pass and realistically show that the lean, mean, yellow banana is here to dominate. But Ashley Lyle so far qualifying on pole and, well, just showing everyone how this setup works, how it's really done, and it seems to be working for her quite well. A little bit of looked like the rear end wanted to kick out there just a little bit coming out of 4, but keeping it together, and it seems to be that a lot of these drivers are handling this car quite well. Let's actually go on board with eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Marshall Newton is perfect. Let's go ahead and ride from the helmet camera here of Marshall Newton and just kind of get a little bit of a different perspective of how these cars might be handling for these drivers. Now, for this series, I tried to make the drivers as involved as possible in the process of creating the series. So, what tracks we raced on, how many tracks we had, how many races we had, so on and so forth. Just various things that I tried to include all the drivers in. And one of the things was the setups and how they would overall feel. And I think Ashley, our setup builder for the series, has done a phenomenal job in making this a relatively balanced but slightly loose setup for these drivers, and it seems to be suiting everyone relatively well. It doesn't seem like these drivers are fighting the car too much to get the car rotated, or even if the car does over-rotate, they don't have too much issue getting it back into a straight line here. But it definitely is some spicy racing as we're seeing. I mean, we still got great battles happening in the midfield as the number 13, or excuse me, yeah, the 13, Steven Shepard, goes for a ride, keeping it just below the white line, going into 3 and 4. That is going to just narrowly avoid that yellow flag from flying here at Las Vegas. But for Steven Shepard, that is going to definitely scrub those tires. And unfortunately, and I feel really bad about this now, knowing this, that I made this mistake before starting the session, not giving drivers enough tires. I definitely feel bad now. Oh, Steven, if you're listening, I'm sorry, buddy. I hope you do well. Lindsay, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I definitely appreciate seeing another familiar face here. It's definitely great to see so many familiar faces here, so many names that we all know already from the series we broadcasted here on Team Goon Squad. It is just absolutely great to have a stacked field of 28 drivers here on track at this moment. I mean, you just couldn't ask for anything better. And to top it all off, this is a free-to-enter series for all drivers. Anyone is welcome to join, and folks, let me tell you, the series is getting to the point where I almost have to decide whether or not we have to cut off entries into the series because of how many people have been joining. So, if you would like to join, there are still more places left, but they are going fast, and I expect that before we get into probably race 3, we might be pushing having full fields here for the TGS Cup Series, which just blows my mind even thinking about the possibility of that. But again, if any of you are watching, if any of one of you is watching this now and wants to be a part of this series, definitely check out our Discord and join up. It is free to enter, broadcasted live here on the Team Goon Squad YouTube channel. I don't think there's much else that you could ask for as a driver, and short races, an hour long, roughly. So it makes for some great racing. Now Ashley Lyle, Aaron Smith, they continue this fight here for the lead, and they actually start to close themselves in on one another here. I mean, Aaron Smith really has not let up this fight, and he definitely wants to get on the tail here of Ashley Lyle as we tune to the roof camera, looking out the rear view. as they go side by side with one another through 3 and 4. Aaron Smith looking down to the bottom as they head through the tri-oval and across the checkered line, wheel to wheel. Just a few inches. Aaron Smith is able to get out ahead of Ashley, and she goes up into the wall, trying to get a good entry into one, and just scrubs the wall just a little bit. Luckily, doesn't cost her too much pace here. As they come down the back straightaway, they keep things heated here for the battle for the lead. The very first round, the inaugural race, if I can pronounce my words correctly, of the Team Goon Squad Cup Series. Folks, I cannot believe that we have the field that we have and just the caliber of racing that we are seeing here tonight. It is just absolutely incredible. It is some fantastic racing. 34 laps in, and I am just loving what I am seeing right now. I hope that all of you that are watching are enjoying what you're seeing, because this is just absolutely incredible. We're watching now with Paul Mikolajczyk and Carlos Thiel here in the fight for 10th place at the moment. Carlos Thiel in the 256 machine, just a little further ahead of Paul Mikolajczyk here at the moment. And Paul Mikolajczyk's machine is showing the 27, which is not his number at the moment. It is actually the 7, so I guess it's technically correct. They could just put some tape over the 2 and that'd be fine. But all things aside, just so everyone's not confused at home and wondering why I'm saying the 7 and showing the 27. Now that that's out of the way, tuning into some of the other battles that we have out here on track, and we get to see the legendary Shrek machine and the Sour Patch machine side by side with one another. Just it's perfect. It's like yin and yang, you know. You get Shrek, Sour Patch Kids. It just takes me back to my childhood. What more could you have? What more could you want? Sean Williams and Scott Shire, they continue their fight here in 8th place. And one thing I actually didn't really talk about, because I am a little uncertain on how this is going to play out here after the race is done and how points are going to work. Well, how iRacing is going to handle it, at least, because I'm not exactly certain if it's going to work the way that I have it set up, but we're going to go ahead. I'm going to run through how I have got it set up, or at least explain how it should work. If I can actually, well, I can probably. So as I got a little distracted here, trying to pull up my points layout here, but Aaron Smith was actually able to pass Ashley Lyle for a good bit here. Let's actually take a look just quickly and see what this kind of shaped out to be between these two, and what happened here to Ashley to fall behind so drastically, because now she's fallen down to just over a second behind the number 70 machine, and they were, as you can see here, very, very close to one another. I wonder if there was a little bit of a mistake made on the 51's part. But either way, Aaron Smith is now up in clean air. He's got nothing else around him really to worry about. As we tune into the battle between Nick Beaver, Jared Ziegler, it is heating up here between the GameStop 57 machine and the number 10 of Nick Beaver. The Fastenal number 10. Ziegler's going to go around the high side out of turn 2, and that's going to give him the momentum down the back straightaway. Build up a little bit of momentum, to build a little bit of distance between himself and Nick Beaver. And that's going to work out well in his favor. Ashley Lyle now going to start off the second round of pit stops here on lap 42 of 120. Jaden Hopp, Nick Beaver, Carlos Steele also going to follow their lead here in the second round of pit stops. Aaron Smith going to remain out on track here and potentially pull off the same strategy that we saw before, where him and Ashley kind of ended up in the same spot. Will that happen again here? It's tough to say, but I've seen crazier things happen. Aaron Smith now down into the pits. Howie Briss, Jared Ziegler, all doing the same here. So we're going to take a look here at the timing tower. Excuse the cutoff logo here. It looks a little funny, as well as the... that. Anyway. Had to do things on a very short notice and with many headaches and hoops to jump through. We managed to make it happen, though. Scott Shire, your current race leader, but he's coming down into pit road, and there goes Ashley Lyle, already back out, and Aaron Smith as well, just now making his way back out onto the racing surface, and we'll see if these two are going to line up with one another. It does not look like they're going to be too close, but Lyle's going to be on the straight with Jaden Hopp also in tow, and Jaden Hopp, before the Velocity Racing League was, well, stopped becoming a league, it left Jaden Hopp kind of in a weird spot where he was leading the Cup Series there, and now coming back to the Team Goon Squad Cup Series. He's now got a new home and a lot of fresh faces to fight against, a lot of familiar ones too, but it is great to see Jaden Hopp here and giving him another chance, another opportunity to keep fighting for some kind of championship, some kind of points. It's just great to have all of these drivers out here, everyone that's participating and everyone who's signed up. It is just absolutely incredible to see this many drivers here all in one race. It's just blows my mind. We tune over to the battle for 8th place here, or excuse me, 7th place here at the moment. Carlos Steele with about just over 0.2 of a second between these two drivers here at the moment. A lot of these guys are really, I mean, after they've all come through pit road, got a fresh set of tires, or maybe they have, maybe they haven't. Again, they've only got 2 sets behind the wall, as per my... well, I guess I'm new to this whole league administration thing, so I guess you could say I just forgot. But either way, these drivers are all going to be on some unique strategies, whether they're taking tires on every other pit stop or every third pit stop. I'm not exactly certain what these drivers will be doing for pits. We could probably take a look here at... here's Charles. Oh, boy, Charles Jurek. Charles has definitely seen some better days here. Let's take a look at the instant replay and see what happened here for Charles. Ooh, boy. Let's back this up here and see what unfolded here for Charles to end up in this situation. Too fast, too fast, too fast. Oh. The 31 of Marshall Newton. Definitely not that didn't look intentional, but that was, man. I think he might have got caught into the wall a little bit and maybe pushed down into Charles here. I'm not. We'll have to go back after the race and take a look at that. But either way, Charles Jurek suffering massive damage here to the 76. It is now going to have to probably be in pit road for a while to get those repairs done. It looks like we Also had our first retirement of the race from Lamp, the number 6 driver, falling out of the race on lap 29 after very early on incidents, causing him to have to come down into the pits and repair his vehicle as well. So I'm more than certain that he's probably just wasn't happy with how the car was driving and just had to call it. Great battle here between Carlos Steele and Tyler Duggan. As they head into turns 3 and 4, excuse me, as I'm looking away from the race and looking at race chat. But anyway, Ashley Lyle, your race leader at the moment. Tyler Duggan, Carlos Steele continue their battle here for 6th place. As Ashley still feeling the fire from Aaron Smith, and it is just incredible to see Aaron really putting the pressure on Ashley and seeing how these pit stops are kind of working out perfectly in a sense where they're coming out at the same time near each other. But for Aaron Smith, it's also worthy to note here that Ashley Lyle has done a phenomenal job with this setup and has, I mean, Maybe it's a little bit of maybe it's a little bit of a setup bias for herself, making it nice and perfect for her. I'm only kidding, but it's definitely great to see Ashley out here leading the field and giving these drivers a very good run here. We didn't get to see too much of Ashley in the Velocity Racing League last season, if I recall correctly, but it's great to have her here for the Team Goon Squad Cup Series, and definitely showing a lot of these drivers how it's done here at Las Vegas. But after tonight, we head to Michigan, I believe, is the next race that we come to. No, it's at Dover. Okay, we head to Dover next week, where we'll see 150 laps. And I think that will definitely, after tonight, after drivers give their feedback about setups and all the other things that we'll definitely be discussing after the race is all said and done here, but things are looking very, very nice here, to say the least. Almost halfway into tonight's race, and I gotta say, it has been just fantastic. Oh, and I was talking about points, too. I totally forgot I was talking about that. So, points. After things are all said and done here, drivers who finish between the 1st and 26th positions will receive between 60 and 10 points. And it will decrease by 2 points every position. So, first place receives 60 points, second place receives 58, so on and so forth until you get all the way to 10 points at 26th. Now, 27th through 35th, I hope we don't, I don't think we'll ever see that many drivers, but there's a very good chance that we might. They will receive between 9 and 1 point. So, 27th will receive 9, and 35th will receive 1 point. And if we ever see 36 to 42 drivers, they will all receive 1 point. Bonus points. Drivers get 3 points. If you lead a lap, drivers with the most laps led get 5 points, and the fastest lap bonus is 1 point. If you qualified first, you get 5 points. Qualified second, you get 4 points, and if you qualified third, you get 3 points. So, This is also a kind of an experimental sort of scoring system that I am working with. I am not certain that will be the official scoring system that we'll use in the future, but for now it will do, and we'll just run with it. As we have crossed the halfway point in today's race, lap 60 of 120 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the season opener. The very first round ever of the Team Goon Squad Cup Series, and it is off with a bang. I gotta say, I did not expect this series to grow as quickly as it did, but it seemed like overnight, all of a sudden, I had over 30 drivers in my roster, and here we are. And I gotta say, even before the race, talking with some of the drivers, just kind of listening in to what some of the drivers were saying, it was definitely a fear of some drivers that with as many drivers as we have here tonight, 28 in total, things could get a little dicey. And I will admit, for some drivers, things have got a couple hiccups here and there, but ultimately, those are going to be racing incidents, and I don't think anything has been intentional or, drivers are getting mad at one another. I think it's just purely been racing incidents, and so far, I think the racing here tonight has proved that this series is going to be quite exciting, not only for myself, but for you folks at home who tune in and watch these broadcasts, as well as for the drivers. I hope as well for the drivers that all of them are having fun. All of you at home are having fun watching this and supporting your favorite drivers. It is just great to be here. Lindsay, I was not reading the chat here for a little while, but I missed you as well. I missed everyone who tuned into all of our broadcasts for VRL and so on and so forth, but also to everyone else who has joined us here tonight. It is a great, great pleasure to be bringing you the action here tonight. It is all free to the drivers. It is all it is all just to give our drivers and everyone racing an opportunity to race and to just have fun and to have it broadcasted and to be able to go back and watch these races, because I gotta tell you, I definitely would. These are going to be some great races throughout this season, and I think tonight is going to be a great way to kick things off. Granted, I did get a little, kickback for having Las Vegas as the opening round of the season, but I also did not really, I kind of just randomly picked the tracks and what positions they'll be in, so probably won't do that next time, but either way, it worked out. And oh, Steven Shepard saying he did not like that race. Oh. We'll have to see if we can go back and take a look at that incident, Steve. But I do hope that you come back for the next one, and hopefully that it is a little bit better. But I will say it, even for myself, I was a little concerned with the size of the field that we have, that cautions might be something that we would see, or just various incidents like that could hinder a lot of drivers' race here. But I will say it's refreshing to not have to see a race go into a restart every few laps because of, things just keep happening over and over and over again. Things here in this race seem to be relatively smooth, relatively clean, and I can understand, a mishap here or there. You get put out of a race. It happens to me all the time, but Steve, I hope, like you said, you'll be back for sure, but you'll get them next time, bud. I really hope that we continue to see these great races and this clean racing going forward through the season, and hopefully don't see too many drivers get punted out of a race because of, drivers not being aware of their surroundings and so on and so forth. Well, like I said, it happens. Yeah, you know, that makes me wonder if, for some reason, cautions aren't enabled, but I'm like 90% certain that they should be. As we're watching Carlos Steele and Sean Williams here at the moment. These two drivers duking it out here for the 7th place position. As we've had a couple other drivers fall out of the race here. Marshall Newton, Charles Jurek, Steven Shepard, who we've already mentioned. And I think that's the only other driver who has... Yep, that's the only drivers who've taken it behind the wall here. And cautions are indeed enabled. So, I'm not sure if iRacing just didn't deem, if it just didn't deem those incidents worthy of a flag or what the case might be, but because we don't have live race control here, those things can be kind of flown under the radar, I would say. But Sean Williams starting to feel the pressure from Carlos Steele as we come out of turn 2 onto the back straightaway. Steele feeling a little bit too much juice in the back end there, having to recorrect it before getting things a little bit too dicey there. But Max Newworth, Nicolator, going to be in the fight here, coming out of 2 onto the back straightaway. Nicolator going to be on the high side here of the number 66 machine, and it might be able to just secure that 14th place position as they come out of 4. Ooh, man, you could see from that camera angle just that angle on the number 5 machine is just ever so slightly sideways. But Nicolator showing great control behind the wheel of that number 5. It is just absolutely great to see some of these guys who I haven't seen behind the wheel of a Cup Series car, or an oval car for that matter, come out here and just absolutely crush it. It is just fantastic to see. Nick Beaver, another one of those drivers who I have seen behind the wheel of a Radical of, I believe he drives an LMDH in the Endurance Series. I'm pretty sure it's a LMDH. Anyway, point being, it's great to see these guys out here out of their comfort zone and given the oval racing a good old college try. And I think a lot of these guys are going to enjoy it as we see Ashley Lyle have a huge mishap here. Let's take a quick look at the instant replay here and see. Whoa, definitely big time trouble here. And I'm very surprised that a caution didn't come out for this one. This definitely seems like it should have been a, well, I don't know, maybe. Oh, we got to go back and look at that one more time from a different angle. Give me a better angle, camera guys. All right, that'll work. So Tyler Duggan, he's already coming down. And I don't think he realized that he didn't have enough room there. Maybe he was trying to come down into pit road. I'm not exactly certain what his intentions were there. But either way, Ashley Lyle getting caught in the worst end of it and finding herself in the midfield. But back here in 10th place and with Jaden Hopp right on her tail now. The number 81 machine also trying to work his way back up the mix here. Currently sitting 10th place at the moment. It's going to be a climb back up to the top 5 where he was originally. And I'm sure that Jaden is definitely trying everything he can to get everything out of this car that he can. This is going to be a tough race for drivers. I mean, just given the strategies that are going to be played out here. Again, not everyone can take a set of tires every single pit stop, so drivers are going to be coming in for fuel rather than tires, or both, depending on when the last time that they took those tires were. It's a lot of thinking that these drivers have to do in a matter of seconds down in pit road. So I do feel bad, and it will be changed in the future, but I just commend these drivers for taking the challenge and really just putting on a great race here so far. We're 77 laps into this race, and it's just now to the point, at least in my opinion, where it's calm, it's steady, and it's very well spread out here at this point. You can take a look at that on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. If I can fix the position here of it. There we go. Okay. So, you can see just how spread out a lot of these drivers are. Normally, everyone would just kind of be in one big clump, and you wouldn't really be able to decipher what drivers are which, but now that everything has spread out and we are on lap 78 of 120, Jaden Hopp coming down here into pit road. We're watching it now, but as I mentioned, it's to that point where it's all just a matter of staying consistent and hitting your marks every time and ensuring that you have enough fuel to come across the line, making sure that that your tires aren't going to be down to the wires once you come across that line. It's going to be a very difficult car to drive if you're not careful. But we are past that halfway mark, well past the halfway mark, and about 40 laps left to go here. So not too much longer here that these drivers have to really kind of, I want to say, suffer from this unique race strategy that I bestowed upon our drivers here tonight. You know what, Steve? I like the idea of having one stage caution. You know, kind of not necessarily right smack dab in the middle, but kind of give drivers an opportunity to have another kind of mini race, if you will. I do like that idea, and I think that might be something we'll talk about in the future if drivers want to have something like that. It definitely does help bring the action back and allow drivers to put more fights on. You know, everyone wants to get back into the position where they're on someone's bumper, they're fighting for spots, and they're trying their best to make any positions that they can. So we'll look into that in the future. Normally, I'm not a big fan of the NASCAR style stage cautions where they have 3 of them, and it's just I'm not a huge fan of that. But I also understand it's usually 3-hour-long races that they have, and yada yada yada. Any point being, so as we are calm, steady, we're going to see drivers come down into pit road, I would say, pretty soon here, actually. Probably in the next 5 to 10 laps. 10 laps on the high side. Very, very high side. But about lap 90, I would say, or just before lap 90 is when we'll see the rest of the field start to come back down into pit road, as Jared Ziegler does. Number 57 machine takes that cue, and Tyler Duggan, the 42 machine, as well, also going to join with Carlos Steele. Probably various other drivers as they make their way down into the pit box and get that fuel topped off here, and potentially another set of tires. And I'm not sure what that was. Oh, Lindsay, don't you worry. We're not changing anything up now. It's going to be, everything's going to stay the same as it is right now. But I always like to hear the feedback from our drivers. I always like to get new ideas, as again, this is the first time I've ever done hosted our own league and did everything myself to manage everything. It's definitely a lot more work than I anticipated, but it's worth it. And I think it's definitely going to put on some fantastic racing in the long run, and some just incredible, seasons. I mean, I really hope to see the field continue to grow, or at least see more drivers want to come into the series. And there was even jokes being thrown around during practice before the start of the race here that there might be a point where you would have to qualify to get into the race, which I just kind of chuckled at, because that would just be absurd. But the more people keep joining, the closer we keep getting to that point. So again, folks, if you want to join, if you want to be a part of this series, head on over to our website, teamgoonsquad.com. And you can find our Discord there. You'll find all the information that you need in our Discord. And if you have any questions, you can message me directly. You can just find me in the Cup chat, and you can ask all the questions that you need. Also, all the drivers are there, and you can usually find what you need in a pretty short amount of time. Lindsay, yes, it is still the same Patreon, and thank you for reminding me, actually. I don't promote that enough. I need to do more of that as we got 3 wide action here coming across the line. Wow, what in the world is going on here? Paul Mikolajczyk, the number 7, a.k.a. the 27. Right? Boy, I can't even process what just happened. That was wild. But either way, they managed to work their way out of that, and no harm, no foul. No one came out with any boo-boos. But back to my point, back to the Patreon. If you guys want to support this series, because this series is free to enter, this broadcast is also done as basically volunteer work for myself to, again, to promote the series, to allow drivers to have something to look back on, and frankly, because I love doing this, and I want to give back to those that have given to us for so long. So this is my way of saying thank you, and, well, for those of you that want to say thank you back, you can do so by subscribing to our YouTube channel, hitting the like button, and if you want to go even one step further than that, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Team Goon Squad, and you can get yourself subscribed to that. Every little bit helps, but you can also go to teamgoonsquad.com and check out our merchandise. You can pick up a t-shirt, a coffee mug, stickers, whatever suits your flavor. We got mostly everything that you could want, and hopefully more things to come in the future, but everything helps, and it always is genuinely appreciated, because we all do this because we're passionate about it, and any support that we can get to continue to do this is always something that we love to see and hope to continue to see as things go forward. Speaking of moving forward, we are on lap 90 now as Aaron Smith crosses that checkered line. 30 laps left to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, as Aaron Smith has given Michael Keithley a little bit of a hard time here. Not really, but Michael Keithley just under threat here of going a lap down, and I'm sure he's probably not too eager to let that happen, but Aaron Smith definitely showing his prowess here in the lean, mean yellow banana here tonight. And after Ashley Lyle unfortunately found herself in a very, very tough situation, it was with, oh boy, who was it with? I'm trying to remember the driver. Was it Tyler? No, it wasn't Tyler Duggan. It was, oh boy, I can't remember now. Either way, Ashley Lyle found herself, was it Marshall Newton? It was Marshall Newton, that's who it was. So Marshall Newton and Ashley Lyle, after they got involved in that bit of contact, Ashley fell down to 10th place and has been trying to fight her way back up as much as she can, but because of the fact that we're staying green here, the green flag is still out, it's going to be a tough time to try and make up those positions or try and get to the point where you're fighting for anything at that point. And as I say that, though, Ashley Lyle gets a good run on Jaden Hopp, and up into 9th place she goes, and Jaden Hopp kind of left out to dry here in that 10th place position. I'm curious to know what some of these drivers are going to kind of have to say about setups going forward after tonight's race is done. You know, it's going to be interesting because of the fact that a lot of these races are all going to be purely short runs. We might change that, but with short runs, not everyone is good at them. Some drivers are great at them. Some drivers aren't as great at them. It's a tough mix, but that also makes for some great racing, I think, at least from what we can see so far. So but to everyone who's watching, everyone who's tuned in tonight, I want to thank each and every single one of you for watching the broadcast and just showing your support for the series by tuning in and just enjoying the show, just watching the racing, enjoying what we have here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And I hope to continue. I hope to look forward to seeing you all again next week as we head to Dover Motor Speedway and continue the same process. We're gonna go right back into it. Same great racing, and maybe make a few adjustments before then, but we'll have to wait and see. We're not gonna jump the gun on anything. We'll be patient before we make any official decisions here. But 26 laps left to go, and it is coming down to the wire here. Steve, one of our drivers here in the series, saying the setup was really loose, especially with a full tank and used tires. Was not favorable for Steve, and I'm sure we'll probably have some drivers that might feel the same way. So again, we'll have to wait and see, figure out what we're going to do going forward. But also having our very own setup builder, someone who will be able to take those inputs and be able to make those changes to the car and hopefully get it to where it needs to be for everyone to be mostly satisfied. There's always going to be someone who's not particularly happy with a certain thing about the car, about the setup, but that's just the nature of racing. You can't please everyone with one setup, but that is also another topic of discussion between open setups and fixed setups, but we won't talk about that here tonight. That is not what we're here for. As we're 23 laps left to go, and again, we're down to the wire here. I believe this should be... there might be one more pit stop, actually, before things are all said and done. But Jared Ziegler now going to be under fire from Howie Briss, the 97 machine. Really getting a good run here in these final 20 laps. And again, Howie Briss, one of the reigning champions or prior champions from the Velocity Racing League, looking to come here and show his dominance in the series as well. Here in the top 5, sitting 4th place at the moment. I think he's off to a very, very good start. And speaking of very good starts, Nick Beaver started in 17th here tonight and is all the way up here in 2nd, just crushing it here tonight. I did not expect Beaver to come out here and just dominate here the way that he is, but he is doing fantastic, and I'm more than certain that if he was up there running with Aaron here at the moment, he would definitely be giving Aaron a good run for his money, as Howie Briss is now doing much the same, coming down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4 and onto the dog leg, or I keep saying wanting to say the dog leg, onto the tri-oval. Ziegler trying to defend that 3rd place spot as best as he can. Lindsay. You know, for myself being a dad, I don't have very many dad jokes, and I feel like that's just wrong of me to not have those. But I got corny ones, really corny ones. What do mermaids wash their tails in? I don't know. What do they wash them in? Don't tell me it's sea salt. Oh boy, Jared Ziegler, Howie Briss, they're duking it out now for the 2nd place position. Side by side, coming out of turn 4 onto the tri-oval and across the checkered line. It's tied. No. Oh, that's a good one. Meanwhile, Ziegler down on the inside as they come out of turn 2 and onto the back straightaway. Ziegler with the inside line, but Briss has got great momentum here running this outside line. Gonna have to see if he's gonna be able to make that pass here, but actually Jared Ziegler, he's gonna come down into the pits, and that's going to be the last stop here for a lot of these drivers as they all prepare for their last run of the night. 17 laps left to go. It is coming down to the wire here tonight, folks. Aaron Smith, your race leader, has yet to come down into the pits. He's got Nicholas Lovell right on his tail here. at the moment, that number 37 machine has definitely seen some better days here. But ultimately, just trying to keep up with the leader. He's going to be a lap down here. I think actually a few laps down. Now Howie Briss, Nicolator, they all come down into pit road. Or actually, Howie Briss is making his way out of pit road. Nicolator's making his way in. And Matthew Fitz and Andrew Neri are just now making their way out of pit road here as well. Waiting to see when Aaron Smith is going to make that. There it is. Right as we tune over to him, he's right into pit road. And that's going to be the final stop here for the number 70 machine. Now, what's interesting to note here, folks, before, we were seeing Aaron Smith and Ashley Lyle both kind of linking up with one another after their pit stops, and they were right back in the fight here. I'm almost expecting that Aaron Smith is going to have Nick Beaver now meeting up with him once he makes his way back out of pit road, and Michael Keithley saying that his power went out. Oh, no. Oh, Michael, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. It's one thing, you know, if you, I really can't think of a worse way to get put out of a race that is completely and utterly out of your control than just your power going out. I mean, it's just, just seeing everything turn off is in front of you and just being ultimately defeated. Well, Michael, hopefully you get better luck next week, and hopefully the power doesn't decide that it wants to quit working. Michael's saying the setup was fine, and yeah, like I was saying before, I think there's going to be some mixed opinions about how things felt for everyone. I think everyone's going to have some varying opinions. But ultimately, from what I can see up here in the booth, from what I've seen all night here, I gotta say it's pretty darn smooth for the most part. I'm sure there's probably some finer tweaks that could be made, but again, it's all things that are going to ultimately boil down to personal preference, and with it being a fixed setup series, can't always please everyone, as I mentioned before. So we'll try and get it as close as we can, but as long as it's provides racing that like what we're seeing here tonight, I would say it is going to be just fine going forward. 11 laps left to go. We are winding it down to the very, very end. Paul Mikolajczyk and Carlos Thiel duking it out side by side as they come out of turn 4. Into the tri-oval and across the checkered line, back into turn 1. Paul Mikolajczyk in the number 27, a.k.a. the number 7, just able to get out ahead into that clean air, and now building up a little bit of distance between himself and Carlos here at this moment. So they're going to continue on this fight here, or at least try and see if they're going to, or at least see if Carlos is going to try and reel him back in here. But he's really gonna have to push it going into either 1 or 3. Oh boy, oh boy. Tyler Duggan there looking to the or no, that wasn't Tyler Duggan. Who was that? Was that Jeffrey? That was Jeffrey Sykes. Okay. Slightly almost the same color here, but Jeffrey Sykes getting onto the inside there. Just letting those tires eat, and it seems like he had quite a bit of pace there as well, but yeah, definitely was a little close there, it seemed like. Eight laps left to go. Aaron Smith, your race leader, out here dominating tonight's race, and having had Ashley Lyle in that incident earlier on definitely, I think, kind of set the tone here for Aaron to just get himself comfortable and just click off laps. And Aaron is very, very good at doing so. It's very calm and just, he's got it down. He's got it dialed in here tonight, and we'll see if that's going to be the theme going forward. And Nick Beaver as well. Got to give a shout out here to my man Nick Beaver, doing incredible here for his first time on an oval course, at least that I've seen him on, and just doing an incredible job here, holding second place with a field that is very, very strong. I'm not sure if he's done it before or if it's something that he's done often, but I commend you, buddy. You've done absolutely incredible here tonight. Jared Ziegler as well. We got to give a shout out here to the 57 driver. I think this is the first time he might be up here in the top 3, or at least that I've noticed. But either way, top 3 finish here for Jared Ziegler. Howie Brish just behind him in the 4th place spot, and Tyler Duggan in that 5th place position here at the moment, as we've got a pack developing here. Couple lap drivers, but a few drivers competing for the 8th place position, as Scott Shire, Nicholas Corcel, Carlos Steele have their own little battle with 5 laps left to go. And Lindsay asks, why are elevator jokes so good? Because they push, because you push the something about buttons. Ryan Perkins showing he was involved in a little bit of an incident here. The 17 machine, real slow here in 1 and 2, just below the white line. Not sure what happened here, but with only a few laps left, I don't want to get too caught up in that, as anything can happen here. They're on so many levels. Nathan Cool, for what it's worth, Beaver is a real-life short-track oval driver. That makes a lot more sense to me now. A lot of sense. That would explain a lot of things here. So, thank you, Nathan, for that little bit of insider info. I did not know that, but now that I do, mad respects to Beaver, and really to all these drivers here tonight. I mean, they've all put on a great performance here. A few drivers getting involved in some incidents here and there, but I gotta say, for the first race of a brand new series, with a whole lot of drivers in the first race, I am absolutely ecstatic with how this turned out, and I am definitely looking forward to the next one. This is going to be a fantastic series to catch up with and keep up on. White flag is out as Aaron Smith crosses the checkered line. The last chance to dance here for drivers. As we're watching Ashley Lyle, Carlos Steele, they're not going to be in a little bit of a battle here side by side. Max Newworth, oh, whoa, they both go sideways. Carlos Steele still trying to save the 256, absolutely scrubs those tires, but luckily the white flag is out. All he's got to do is make it through 3 and 4 here, and he is home free. Aaron Smith crosses the line, takes home the win here tonight for race number 1 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Tokyo drifts it through 1 and 2 as a celebration. Great victory from Aaron Smith. Nick Beaver coming away with 2nd place. Jared Ziegler in 3rd to round out our top 3 here tonight. What a race here, folks. I cannot believe I cannot believe the turnout. I cannot believe how well this race went. At least from my perspective, I think things have gone absolutely incredible here tonight, and I am looking forward to what's to come. Let's take a look at our post-race results, and let's go ahead and get into post-race interviews, starting off with Mr. Jared Ziegler, if I can find him here. Well, because we don't have... All right, as Aaron Smith does his celebratory burnout, I'm still waiting to see if we're going to have other drivers to interview here. It looks like we have Aaron Smith, but we're going to go ahead. We'll go ahead and start off with Aaron Smith here since he's the one that we got ready at the moment here. Aaron, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on your victory here tonight. An incredible performance from yourself, Aaron. I mean, the first race of a brand new series, a brand new season, and just a lot of new things happening here tonight, Aaron. I mean, what was kind of your thoughts of tonight? How did the race go for you? You think, and what other thoughts do you have going forward?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the layout of this race was great. I really enjoyed having the half tank of fuel. Running 22 lap runs made a pretty interesting strategy, and the setup was great. Ashley usually builds some pretty good setups, so it was another one tonight. It's always fun running a loose car at a track like this, and we had a solid race going until she got caught up in something, but I'm glad it all played out in my favor.
Absolutely, Aaron. I mean, it was incredible. Both yourself and Ashley, I mean, every time that she would pit, you would pit the next lap, and you guys just linked back up with each other, and you were right back in that fight. It just seemed like it was meant to be, but unfortunately, like you mentioned, Ashley finding herself in a little bit of a pickle earlier on and having to fight for as many positions as she could. But Aaron, first victory of the season, and as we head next week into Dover, what's kind of your thoughts looking into next week? Do you think you're going to do well there, or are there some kind of unknowns that you're worried about, I guess I could say?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too sure if I'll be able to run the rest of the races this season. I'm not sure if the times will line up with the other thing I've got going on next week. But if I do make it, it should be a solid race. If the setup's anywhere near as good as this, it should be a similar result, hopefully, and maybe we'll have as clean of a race as we did tonight.
Well, Aaron, I want to thank you for joining me up here in the booth, and I want to thank you for joining us here for tonight's race. I sincerely hope that you are able to attend the future races here, but if you aren't, I appreciate you joining us here tonight, and great win. But before I let you go and do your celebrating, anyone you want to give a shout out to before you head out tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the folks at Team Goon Squad for putting this league on and doing the broadcasting. I'd like to thank all the folks in the field for putting on a solid race, and I'd like to thank all the folks for watching. Looking forward to getting back at it whenever I show up next.
All right, Aaron, thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again in the future, and good luck to you out there, and hopefully get to talk to you again more.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Alrighty, folks, so that was Aaron Smith out of the booth, coming away with the win, and I think that's going to be our only interview of the night here. I actually have to end this one off here relatively quickly because I have to go start another broadcast for the Alpha Touring Challenge. So, folks, if you want to go tune in and watch some more racing with yours truly, you can stay tuned and check out the Alpha Touring Challenge that will be on in just about a half hour, under a half hour actually. So with that being said, folks, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight and watching, and to all of our drivers who participated in tonight's race. It has been absolutely incredible. I couldn't have asked for a better start to the season, and really, realistically, just a better way to start the league by having all of these drivers coming in and being a part of it. So thank you all. I genuinely appreciate you all, and I hope to get to see you more in the future, but for now, that's going to do it. Again, my name is Mason Heimball with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action here tonight. If you want to show your support, head over to teamgoonsquad.com, pick up some merchandise, whether it's a t-shirt, coffee mug, stickers, you name it, we probably have it. And if you want to go one step further, you can sign up on our Patreon, patreon.com/teamgoonsquad. Everything helps, and it goes right back into bringing you more content just like this. Folks, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.
Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Bolts. Here comes the caution.
dropped here at Daytona, and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Porcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Doms, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got 3 wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Nice to go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.